Hello and welcome to Saying Average. Before you mention anything about the thumbnail, I have been scream cleaning? Yeah, scream cleaning. I've been spring cleaning a little bit, and I felt a bit low effort with the thumbnail because I'm giving my room an upgrade one little step at a time. Anyway, just life update for you. I thought while I'm like doing a little cleaning and stuff, I thought I may as well do the this video of nice rocks. But yeah, it's basically like what the thumbnail says, crystals for like vampiric witches and energy work and stuff. If my camera keeps shaking, it's because I'm glancing away at the notes, because like I have notes on the crystal properties, the normal properties, and the reverse properties, because, excuse me, dust in my throat, because apparently, like tarot cards, or tarot cards, potato, however you pronounce it, crystals apparently have reverse meanings that you can use them for as well. And when I say reversed meanings, or use it in reverse, I don't literally mean like turn your back or flip a crystal over or anything. What I basically mean is whatever property that you would usually use the crystal for, do the opposite of that, is what I'm saying. And a quick disclaimer before I actually get into it, is there will be some talk of more morally grey magical areas, such as like hexes, curses, ethically grey, like psychic attacks, psychic warfare, causing nightmares to an enemy, and like all that sort of like morally grey sort of witchcrafty stuff. And also, I am not responsible for how you use this information. General disclaimer stuff, blah 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 blah, but I have to say it. You know, take this as just, you know, general knowledge / entertainment use. But yeah, okay, with that out of the way, sorry if I click a lot, my throat's dry. What should we start with? Let's start with this one. I might have to put my... Stop doing that, I sound like Skippy the bush kangaroo. Hold on a minute, I'm gonna have a quick juice break. Excuse some horrible noises. Okay, that might be a bit better. Sorry about that. We have Labradorite. It's kind of a... You're just gonna have to put up with that, I do apologise. Kind of a greenish stone with like little shiny iridescent bits and pieces in it. And normally, you'd use Labradorite. It's considered like a awakening stone, like spiritual awakening, or emotional awakening, or shadow work, or all that kind of stuff is what you'd use it for normally. And I thought, well, if it's an awakening stone, couldn't you technically use that for like vampiric awakening, or like, I don't know if other kin watch this, but like, you know, kin awakening and things like that. And I thought maybe you could use it for vampiric awakening, and I thought maybe then you could also use it in glamoury. Like maybe in spell work you can use it for like awakening assistance. Maybe you can help someone else awaken, someone you might think that is like latent vampire or whatever. Maybe you want to help those awaken, you can do some like spell work for that. Don't force it. Obviously it can be quite traumatic if you like force it, but like just as a like gentle coax, you know, you're not pushing someone off of a cliff, you're just like gently, it's like bungee jumping, you're gently nudging them off the side with like a rope attached, you know, sort of analogy. Full of those. But yeah, I thought maybe you could use it as in jewellery as well. Maybe you could wear it on a necklace or something. If you are awakened, as a beacon enhancer. Maybe, like, your beacon is not necessarily as energetically strong as some other vampiric individuals. Because I know some give off very, very strong energy spikes from me over the internet, because I don't know publicly, because I don't think there's really any publicly around me. unfortunately. But some of them give off very, very heavy hitting energy, and then some of them give off sort of like this gentle, sort of smooth, like, I don't know if you've ever walked into an esoteric store and you've got that like sudden comforting warmth. It's that sort of energy, and then some just like hit like a truck. Did anybody get the license plate of that vampire? But yeah, so that's that one. Also, for a similar purpose, because a lot of these crystals do have similar purposes, or you can pair them, you can use them standalone, or you can pair them with another crystal in spell work to amplify said thing, so you're going to be hearing that a lot. But another one you could use in a very similar way, because it's said to be very good at, like, contacting the otherworldly, especially some people, because it's technically a piece of meteorite. Some people think it's, like, very good for, like, extraterrestrial stuff, so if you're into that side, it's good for that as well. But I'm thinking more sort of like just otherworldly connection in general, sort of like a road opener, but instead of a road opener, it's like opening the spirit world or the veil or whatever you want to call it, so to speak. Doors are open, stepping in. But yeah, it's Tektite. Some of you probably guessed when I said meteorite. It's Tektite. I like my piece that I got because it's all like knobbly and bobbly on this side, as you can tell, which is what you're supposed to be from a Tektite. This side is near enough completely smooth. Also kind of looks like a little penguin or something if you hold it like this. It's kind of cute. But yeah, you can use that standalone for similar reasons that I've already mentioned. Tektite could also be used for, some people have suggested that you could use it for Akashic Records and past life stuff, if that's your thing. You can use it for that as well, as like an assistant in a way. But yeah, you can use it standalone, or you can use it along with Labradorite to sort of like amplify what you're trying to project or manifest. Basically. Hopefully those are the right words. What else have we got? On a similar note, we also have, excuse me, clicky clacky, ASMR time. Hold on. Is that doing anything? Is that too egregious? Okay. I do apologise for a bit. I haven't been out in a while, and I think I'm getting a bit like of cabin fever. Going a bit loopy. But yeah, on a similar note, we also have lapis lazuli, which again can be used in a similar way or standalone or whatever. This isn't necessarily awakening in that sense. This is more sort of for spiritual awakening in and of itself. You can use it for spiritual awakening. You can use it if you're having trouble, maybe you're doing deity work, maybe you don't necessarily feel that energy, or maybe you want to amplify your energy or amplify your sacred space. You know, sometimes it just doesn't feel as... Sometimes the mood doesn't feel as right as it should do. Lapis lazuli is very good for that. I have a selenite bat and a lapis lazuli bat somewhere on my altar specifically for that, I guess, vibrational. Some people use like vibrational for that sort of like higher frequency, higher vibration, whatever you want to call it. I know it's I know if you're not really into this, it kind of sounds a little like I don't know, it just sounds like code. And I do apologise, but yeah, you can use it for amplifying, you can use it for spiritual connection, you can use it for deity work to help you contact said spirit, raise the sort of like frequencies, you know. The entities are the number and the crystal is the cell phone, basically. But yeah, it also is said to represent truth and royalty. Ancient Egyptians are really into lapis lazuli. They used to crush it up into a pigment, which made like a really, really nice royal blue. It was very expensive back in the day. I'm not going to go into that side very much. There's loads of good history channels and loads of good, like, antique paint channels that go into that sort of thing. But if you're interested in sort of, like, using weird mediums to make paint. There's like loads of those channels out there. Very fascinating. But yeah, it's said to represent truth and royalty. You can sort of like use it in that way. You can use it as sort of like self-expression, like this is the true me. In glamoury, you can use it in like necklaces or bracelets or earrings or whatever sort of like cosmetic jewelry thing that you like to wear. You could like enchant that as if to say like, this is me, this is myself, I want to project that in a safe manner. I want to feel protected while I'm doing it. You know, I want to be free from judgment from others, blah, 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 blah. You can use it for that. You can also use it in reverse. And this is what I mean by slightly morally grey areas. But if you want to get the truth out of somebody, if you think someone is hiding something from you, or you think someone is lying to you in any way, shape, or form, you could use this in truth-seeking spell work alongside your other spell ingredients and whatnot to get that out of somebody. If you think they're hiding something from you, and you have exhausted every other way to get it out of somebody, and you really, really, for whatever reason, I'm not judging, this is judgment-free, but if for whatever reason at all, that you really, really, really want to get something out of somebody, you're like, look, no more, no more BS, and just tell it to me straight. I can handle it. This is very good for that as well. You could also probably use this alongside, actually, I didn't write this down, but you could probably use this alongside these two for awakening as well. Maybe someone is having trouble during their awakening process. Maybe they're having doubt periods. Like I had like so many doubt periods when I was freshly awakened. Maybe people are having doubt periods and stuff. Maybe you could use the lapis lazuli to kind of like be like, it's okay, it's all right to feel like you're, unaccepted or a freak or broken or whatever. Because awakening is a hard time. It is it can be very chaotic. It can be a struggle, especially if it's like during, because awakenings tend to happen during puberty, which is already kind of a emotionally turbulent time because so much is already happening to you, so much is already changing in your life, let alone putting an awakening on top of that. It's very chaotic, it's very hectic. But yeah, you can sort of use that as a emotional stabilizer, I suppose, or like a pat on the back, like, hey, it's okay, You can use that for that as well. You can use it as a worry stone. Maybe you're going through an awakening. Maybe you want to use it as a palm stone. Maybe you want to say some affirmations to yourself, like, it's okay, it's alright to be different, I'm not a freak, I am stable, I am loved, I am myself, I am my true self, I like being my true self, all that kind of thing. If you're into affirmations, there you go. You can use that for that purpose as well. What else have we got? I'm trying to pair them similarly so that it takes a little less time. We've done that. I guess on the topic of emotions... Hold on, I'm checking my notes. I do apologise, it might take me a while. Doopy-doopy-doo. Oh yes, I have this side of them. Ah yes, emotions. Yes, that's what I was doing. Okay. So we're moving on from them. Howlite. This is red howlite, mainly because I just thought it looked cool. The VTM nerd in me was like, maybe I could use it as a LARP piece if I ever play a Tremere, maybe it's like an enchanted item with a thaumaturgy or something. But anyway, red howlite specifically. I also have some white howlite and blue howlite somewhere. White howlite is considered the purest of howlites, if you're in that sort of thing, because white howlite is considered the natural colour of howlite. Blue howlite and red howlite and other which colours of howlite. I think there's green as well. They have dyes added to them. So if you're not necessarily one for slightly more synthetic crystals and would like them a bit more as nature intended, aim for the white howlite. But yeah, this is also considered an... I've lost my notes. It's also considered an emotional calming and stabilising stone. You could use this to sort of like ground your energy during meditation. You could use this in a psychic vampire way to channel out some unwanted extras and filter like the nasties and stuff from energy feeds. Because you can pick up emotions from energy feeding, and if you're new to energy feeding, it can be very hard to siphon those out and filter those out. Been there, done that. Be careful who you feed on. I was feeling, I must admit, I don't usually do this, and this is kind of another ethically grey area, but to people who do, like, psychic feed on random people, just be careful who you pick, because I picked someone at a coffee shop, and I thought, oh, okay, they you know, just pick someone at random, they seem to be, like, have excess energy and stuff, and, you know, and I started siphoning, and I also picked up some, melancholy / depression or something from them. Like, personally, my intuition was like, oh, yeah, maybe it's their job, maybe they got fired from their job, maybe they had a turbulent day at work, maybe something's wrong with the family or something, but that picked up as well, and that dampened my mood for the entire rest of the day. So just be careful with that. Some crystals, such as howlite, can help you with that. You can also use it reversed to cause some emotional distress to an enemy. I say an enemy. Like I said, I'm not responsible for how you use this information. But yeah, you can cause emotional distress to an enemy. So, ooh, excuse me. Almost dropped my phone. So yeah, you know, if you want to cause them, like I said, if you want to send them sadness, or maybe something traumatic has happened in their family recently and you want them to experience that trauma for longer, or something mournful has happened in the family and you want them to continue mourning for whatever reason, or you feel like they've wronged you in a way and like everything else is you've exhausted every other option, but you want them to feel guilt over it, you can also use it in that way. Another two, actually, that are good for this sort of like emotional balancing / emotional turmoil thing. I'm putting these together because you have regular amethyst, which is, it's got similar properties to howlite. You can use it standalone in a similar way that you can howlite, or you can use it alongside howlite to amplify, as I've already said. It's said to be good for assistance with dreams and insomnia and like lucid dreaming, things like that. It's said to help with that as well. You can use it reversed. You can use it for astral flights. You could use it for feeding via dreams. Dream feeds are a thing. Maybe you want to encourage more dream feeds, or maybe, like I said, someone's wronged you and you kind of want to like take that energy from them, or you want to sort of like astral project in a dream and haunt their dreams per se. Maybe you want to be like a shadowy figure that's just like, look, stop doing this to me. It's, you know, I've tried every other option. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Just, you know, that option is there. Which you can also standalone auric amethyst. I didn't even know this was a crystal, to be honest. Until I saw it and like Crowbrain was like, oh, shiny. But yeah, you can use it standalone, or you can use it with either one or two or all of these crystals together. Auric amethyst is an amethyst, so you can use it in exactly the same way as you would regular amethyst. It also has semi-precious metals mixed in with it. That's what gives it that sheen. It's usually silver, very occasionally trace levels of platinum. You can use it like regular amethyst, like I said, to amplify the usage. You can use it standalone. You can also, because it's said to be an emotionally grounding stone, you can cause an enemy issues with their mood swings, depressive episodes, basically everything I said about howlite. You can use it for that reason as well. You can use it as, like I said, dream haunter, all that kind of thing. So yeah, very cool. How many have I got left? I've said that one, said that one, said that one. I do apologise. Said that one. Still got to do that, still got to do that. Still got to do that one, still got to do that one. Okay, yeah. Alright, we'll do that next then. very, very teeny tiny, itty bitty piece of garnet. I do apologise about my light. It is foggy out today, so there's not much sunlight coming in here, so I'm trying my best with my flash. But yeah, we have garnet, which is normally considered a rather protective stone, the same as ruby is. Some people use garnet in replacement of ruby, because ruby, as it's a semi-precious stone, can get rather expensive, whereas garnet is a bit of the more cheaper, more sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but you know the word I mean. It's like a cheaper, more accessible, that's the word I'm looking for, accessible option. It's said to be a protective stone. It's said to be a protective stone, especially from things such as psychic attack and things like that. And you could use it reversed, either on its own or alongside Dragon's Bloodstone, and or regular Bloodstone, whichever Bloodstone you come across. Very similar properties. Regular Bloodstone is also good for digestive health, whereas Dragon's Bloodstone, it doesn't mention anything about that. So, side tangent really quickly. Bloodstone is said to be good for digestive health and, as its name is Bloodstone, like, circulatory health. So, if you want to hex someone, maybe they're clumsy, maybe they injure themselves, maybe they, like, bleed a bit more than they usually do, not to, like, cause them, like, serious harm, but to kind of give them that sort of, like, panic, You can do that. If you want to give them digestive issues, you do that as well. But going back to Dragon's Bloodstone, specifically, you can use it in, like I said, the same way as garnet. You can use it either as a standalone, or preferably you would use it alongside garnet to amplify its effects. You can use garnet for siphoning energy from enemies. That's hard to say. Anemone. You can do the same with Bloodstone and or Dragon's Bloodstone. But garnet especially, as it's considered a very protective stone, you could use it in reverse for like a very sort of strong message that you want to send. You can use garnet in like jewelry or whatever, or like in public or whatever, to public feed from your enemy, or you can use it alongside the astral travel stones that I said about for like dream feeds, haunting people's dreams. And it's basically a way of saying, look, I've exhausted all my other options, because I say that a lot, because magic to me is you've tried every other option and it hasn't worked, and this is your last resort. Magic should be a last resort option. It should not be your first option. You should try everything mundane first. Mundane over magical. You could try every mundane option first, and if that doesn't work, then you use spell work to try and get what you're after. But yeah. Basically, you would use it as your ultimate, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm done f***ing around. You've been messing with me too long. Back off, basically. It's one of the strongest back the off messages you could send somebody psychically. So alongside that, you can use, and I hope this is the right one because I have obsidian and tourmaline, black tourmaline, and I don't remember which one's what, but I think the less shiny one, I think it's this one. You can use black tourmaline as well. Black tourmaline is considered a very protective stone, if not the best protective stone. It's like the best option if you're into like sort of like your magical crystal properties and stuff. And again, same sort of reason as garnet. It's very good for psychic attack. It's very good for psychic or magical warfare. It's very good for protecting against hexes used against you. So you could use it in reverse if someone has hexed you, or you think someone has hexed you, and you want to do a return to sender and have that bounce back to whoever's hexed you. You can use black tourmaline in reverse for that sort of thing. You can use it for grounding, similarly to how you can use howlite and other stones like that I've already mentioned. It basically gives it extra oomph. Black tourmaline is a very good stone to use as an amplifier. So if you're doing the spell work and you think, look, I really, really, really need this to be successful. I really, really need this to take effect, and I need it to take effect as soon as possible, you can use black tourmaline for that. On the topic of enhancers, you have carnelian, which in and of itself, properties aren't necessarily useful. Again, carnelian is good for the bloodstream, so you could use it in a similar reverse manner to regular bloodstone if you wanted to. You can use it to either for good health or to inflict bad health, that sort of thing. But the most important thing that you could probably use it for is it works as a battery for all your other crystals. So if all your other crystals feel dull or they need cleaning, and you're feeling a bit lazy and you don't want to clean them the regular way that you would do, like putting them in moonlight or putting them under water, just make sure that they're like don't dissolve in water. I wouldn't recommend salt, but yeah, if you or incense, you can clean it with incense, all that sort of thing. But if you're feeling a bit lazy, because to be honest, everyone has those days, you can pop the other crystals with carnelian, pop it somewhere away from direct sunlight, preferably. Leave it for one night or a couple of nights, and it should get some of that energy back to it. But don't forget, just because carnelian charges other crystals doesn't mean it can recharge itself, so just make sure that eventually when you get that energy back, you do recharge the carnelian. Because like any battery, it can drain, or you can recharge it. So just make sure that you do that. We have obsidian, which I already mentioned, which I think is this one. Not entirely sure. Could be, could not be. I have so many little black crystals. I used to have notes for all of them. I lost the notes for all of them. So if I'm incorrect that this is obsidian, I have obsidian somewhere. I do apologise if it's like onyx or something else. You can use this similarly to how you would garnet, or howlite, or other emotionally grounding or protective stones that I've already mentioned. It's useful reversed to chip away a psychic barrier. This is very morally grey. To chip away at somebody's psychic barrier. If they have that psychic barrier up, there is very obviously a reason that they are doing that. But, that being said, I am not your mother, so I can't tell you what you can and can't do. I'm just saying, if you aren't really one for, like, very morally grey stuff, maybe give this one a skip. But if you really, really need to chip away at that psychic barrier, you can use obsidian in reverse to assist you with that. But yeah, just make sure you use it with extreme caution. And like any curse or hex, make sure that like you 100% want to go through with it. With like any curse or hex, because it's said that if you even have a tiny, say like 1% doubt or guilt, that will manifest into you. So make sure that you 100% want to do it. Make sure you 100% know your reasons for your justice and your vice and stuff. And make sure like you really, really want to do it. Make sure you really, really have no guilt whatsoever about what you're doing to the person. You know. Just make sure that like your karmic retribution is... What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. But just make sure that you really, really, really want to do it and you have absolutely no regrets. And last but not least, we have Zebra Jasper, which very similarly to what I've already said. Like I said, a lot of these are very similar properties, so unfortunately there might be a bit of back and forthing if you've forgotten what they mean by now. But this is considered a balancing stone in very loose terms. It could be emotionally balancing, spiritually balancing in like pretty much any sense of the word, except like actually physically balancing on something. If you're going tightrope walking, Zebra Jasper is not really going to help you with that. But yeah, you can use this in reverse in your spell work, kind of in an invisibility sort of way. It won't physically make you invisible, obviously, but in terms of spiritual invisibility or something to obscure something. Kind of like a I was never here sort of situation. Like a cloud memory sort of thing. Like, forget I was ever here. nothing ever happened, you saw nothing. Sort of way. So you can use it to obscure something, like, for example, if you're cursing or hexing someone and you're worried that they will somehow manage to trace it back to you, you can use Zebra Jasper as a basically, no you didn't. You can also use it to throw somebody off course, if you're good with illusion spells and things like that. There's a lot of good illusion spells that you can use with mirrors. Kind of to create a physical illusion. You would do the illusion spell in front of a set of mirrors to give that sort of hall of mirrors effect, so like there's many reflections of you and you don't know which one's real. You can use this in that sort of way to like throw somebody off, like, was it ever me? Was I ever here? You tell me, you know. Who knows? It could have just been a figment of your imagination. Sort of like throw them off in that sort of way. So, yeah. I'm going to put these all back in my jar now. That's everything I wanted to say. My throat is feeling dry again, so I'm going to take another drink break. That's all I really wanted to say for this one, so hopefully you've gleaned something from this. And I will see you guys in a future video. This was longer than I was expecting it to be. Anyway, bye-bye.